So, what if the story we've all been told about religion is completely backwards? What if instead of slowly evolving from many gods to one, humanity actually started with a single universal message? A message that we've been forgetting and then rediscovering ever since. All right, let's dive into this really fascinating theory that sends us on a global search for what might just be humanity's original story.
But first, let me just ask you this. Is your faith a deep personal choice, or is it basically, as the historian Arnold Toynbee said, just the geographical destiny of where you were born? I mean, think about it. If you were born in India, chances are you'd be Hindu. In Italy, probably Catholic. Pakistan, Muslim. The source we're exploring today asks us to look right past that map and wonder if there's something much, much deeper that connects all of us.
And that question, well, it leads us straight to the core idea we're digging into, a lost original message. You know, the common assumption is that we humans went from worshiping spirits to many gods, and then eventually a few cultures landed on one god. But this book, it totally flips that script. It suggests that maybe, just maybe, humanity started with one god, and then things got complicated.
Now, this original message, it has a name, Tawheed. It's an Arabic word for the core belief in a single, universal creator God. And according to this theory, Tawheed wasn't the end of a long religious journey, it was the starting point. For everyone. Everywhere. It's kind of like a powerful broadcast signal that was sent out ages ago. We're not trying to find the original transmitter, we're just searching for the faint signals that still exist all over the world today.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting, because this gives us a kind of map for our whole quest. It's this historical cycle. See, it starts at the top with a pure, simple message of one God delivered by a messenger. But then, over time, that message gets watered down, it degenerates into polytheism, what's called shirk here. That's basically when people start associating partners with God, like when the memory of a human messenger slowly gets twisted until they're worshipped as a god themselves. This corruption means a new messenger is needed to, hit the reset button and restart the cycle. This pattern is the engine that drives this whole idea. All right, so we've got our mat. Let's start the search for clues. And our first stop is going to be the vast and diverse lands of the Americas, way, way before any Europeans showed up on the scene.
When you look at the incredible diversity of Native American cultures, you have to wonder, could a messenger, a prophet, have walked these lands? I mean, so many traditions talk about a single, all-powerful great spirit or creator. But what we're looking at today are specific figures, individuals who fit that profile of a divine teacher almost perfect.
For example, let's take the story of the white buffalo calf woman of the Lakota people. Now, she wasn't a god to be worshipped, not at all. She was a messenger, a teacher. The legend says she appeared as this beautiful, sacred woman. She delivered the holy pipe, taught the people their most sacred ceremonies, and basically gave them a whole moral code to live by. And then she mysteriously left. I mean, come on, that is a classic messenger archetype, right?
And this line, it just says everything about her status. So the story goes, two warriors see her first. One of them has, let's just say, an impure thought. The other one immediately shuts him down with this. It wasn't just about her being beautiful. It was about this tangible holiness that just radiated from her. She was immediately understood to be a divine messenger bringing a sacred message directly to the people.
And hey, she wasn't the only one. The source also points to figures like Degeneration, known as the Great Peacemaker. This guy's message of peace and unity was so powerful that it literally brought warring nations together to form the Iroquois Confederacy, a system whose democratic principles actually went on to influence the founders of the United States. It's that same pattern all over again. A messenger arrives, bringing a transformative code for living.
Okay, so let's jump across the ocean. Does this pattern hold up in Asia and Europe? We're about to dig into some of the oldest traditions in the world to see if we can spot that same recurring cycle.
This is such a perfect picture of that cycle of degeneration we were just talking about. You've got this ancient priest-king statue. He looks dignified for sure, but he is clearly a human leader. Now compare that to the deified depiction of Rama from the Hindu epic. The argument here is that Rama might have started out as a real historical prophet, a reformer pushing for monotheism. But over the centuries, the stories get bigger, he becomes an object of worship himself, an avatar of Vishnu. The messenger becomes the one being worshipped. It's the cycle, right there in front of us.
The book also re-examines stories we think we know. Take the figure of Zulqarnain, mentioned in the Qur'an. He's often popularly linked to Alexander the Great. But the argument here is, hold on, that doesn't really fit. Instead, it makes a case that he was actually the Persian king Cyrus the Great,
And when you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. Cyrus was known for his just laws and his reverence for a higher power. That fits the profile of a monotheistic leader way better than the polytheistic conquering Alexander.
So we've just been on this whirlwind tour, right? From the Americas to ancient Persia. What does it all mean? Well, let's try to connect the dots and see if a single shared human story starts to emerge.
And once you lay it all out, these incredible patterns just start to pop. First, this concept of a single, supreme creator God. You can call it the Great Spirit, or Sila, or Gisha. The name changes, but the idea appears again and again. Then, you've got the messenger archetype. That figure who shows up with laws and wisdom. You see that cycle of forgetting and being reminded. And at the heart of it all, a core message of unity and morality.
Which brings us right back to where we started. Is our faith just an accident of where we were born? Well, according to this theory, maybe not. If every culture was visited by a messenger carrying a version of the same essential truth, then maybe all the differences we see today, they're just dialects of a single original human language of faith.
And so that leaves us with one final, really powerful question to think about. If the Lakota, and the ancient Persians, and the Iroquois, and who knows how many others, if they all received a piece of the same divine story, what does that change about how we see ourselves? And maybe more importantly, how we see each other? What if all of our separate paths all started from the exact same place? It's a profound thought to carry with you.